The annual session of China's top political advisory body has started with a promise that's stirred concern in Hong Kong and Macau. Delegates have been told of plans to strengthen one country, two systems. Specifically, the powers of representatives from both cities would be enhanced to uphold the policy. The session began with President Xi Jinping and other leaders observing a minute of silence for the victims of COVID-19. The Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference is a forum that brings together members from all walks of life to discuss and advise on state affairs. The National People's Congress, China's largely ceremonial parliament, begins tomorrow. Lynette Lim joins us live in Beijing right now. Lynette, tell us more. So what would it mean for Beijing to promise more powers to Hong Kong and Macau delegates?
Well, CPPCC Chairman Wang Yang did not elaborate on the details and how this will be done, but we know that by strengthening the powers of the delegates from Hong Kong and Macau, the intent is meant to promote and entrench the one country, two systems governance model. We also see that some observers have noted that in this year's CPPCC work report, some crucial lines have been omitted, and this is the first time since President Xi took power that the lines on Hong Kong people administering Hong Kong, Macau people administering Macau, and a high degree of autonomy, these lines were omitted for the first time. So this perhaps signals, greater control and tightening of control by the central government over the two special administrative regions. On top of that, like you mentioned, what's unique was the moment of silence that was observed. Although Wang Yang's speech was uncharacteristically short, it stood at just 35 minutes, and that's 20 minutes shorter than last year's version. And still speaking on COVID-19, I did expect more to be said on the matter. However, he very briefly touched upon it. He said that there were 1,300 suggestions made from the delegates on containing COVID-19, on prevention measures, and then he went on to talk about how China has been successful in containing the outbreak, and that's largely due to the strength and superiority of its political system.
Lynette, what are some of the new bills expected to be discussed or even passed by the National People's Congress in the coming days?
Well, the top one we're expecting is the one that will ban the consumption and trade of wildlife. This is a follow-up to a resolution already passed by Parliament in February, but experts are saying that the new law lacks teeth. They say that it has some loopholes because it will still allow for the fur trade to be untouched. It will still allow for these traders to continue if they're involved in science and medicine includes traditional Chinese medicine. And then moving on to Hong Kong and Macau again, the special administrative regions, we're also expecting a draft bill or draft resolution to be tabled that will pave the way for a new security laws in Hong Kong. Now, according to Hong Kong media reports, this is aimed at banning seditious activities and banning external interference in Hong Kong's affairs. Now, if this were to be tabled, we can expect more uproar in Hong Kong, city which has already been, reeling from protests since June last year. That stemmed from a now withdrawn extradition bill and that has now morphed into a wider anti-government and anti-Beijing movement.
Okay, thanks for that. Lynette Lim speaking to us from Beijing.